Welcome to our channel Exam 360 Coimbatore. So today the editorial analysis is about freedom and power. So we'll go with the subtitle. Elected leaders must keep their promises of freedom and equality for their people. The leaders who got elected must keep their promises, must uphold their promises. அவங்க கொடுத்த வாக்குகளை சத்தியங்களை நிறைவேற்றணும். Of freedom and equality. Freedom and equality. Equalityனா ஒற்றுமையா இருக்கிறது. Freedom is liberty for their people. Since his election campaign last year, US President Joseph Biden had promised to hold a summit for democracy. Summit is series of meeting. Summit for democracy in order to highlight the worrying trends around the world of growing authoritarianism. Authoritarianism is authority, upper hand, and to bolster democratic institutions that appear to be faltering. Bolstering is actually to support or to encourage. Faltering is actually going down. It's like wavering. While the concerns are genuine, and Mr. Biden's successful delivery of his promise last week with a summit that saw 110 nations invited must be credited, it has also thrown up troubling questions. Thrown up is quickly raising. Quickly raising troubling questions. The State Department's decision to arbitrarily is to randomly do something. Okay? Randomly place restrictions on the invitee list has led to a controversy. Controversy is disagreement or problem. In South Asia, the inclusion is the including of Pakistan along with India and Nepal, but the exclusion is out of the box of Bangladesh, Bhutan and Sri Lanka raises serious doubts on the criteria applied, and if the quality of democracy and the importance of human rights were the criteria, then the question is which country is qualified to make that value-based judgment. So expectedly, the summit was roundly criticized for the most notable exclusions. Once again, exclusion is not being included. Russia and China. In a joint editorial, the Russian and Chinese ambassadors to the US, ambassadors are the people who get connected from our country to the other, claim their own states are democratic in practice and criticize the US's experiments in regime change, Aatchi Marudal, other regime change, and democratic transformations. Transformation is also changing in Iraq, Libya, and Afghanistan. That the summit was organized in a year when the newest democratic entrance. So entrance அப்படின்னா வந்துட்டு it's called the person or group who enters to take part in something. ஒரு group of eventல ஒருத்தவங்க கலந்துக்கிறது இல்லாட்டி ஒரு group of people, that is actually entrance. So Afghanistan and Myanmar reverted is going back to autocratic regimes that rule by the power of the gun. Cast doubts on efficacy. Efficacy is actually the ability to produce the desired effect. So do something productive, okay, what they want. So that is efficacy. Of the international system in enforcing is forcing democracy through external interventions. External is somebody from outside, intervention is the interference. Apart from the more inclusive guest list, as a result, the summit would have done better to begin with a globally accepted definition for democracy and a common understanding of the challenges. The Biden administration committed to announcing specific targets on helping free media, ensuring is making sure, and fair elections and the participation of women, and listed authoritarianism, corruption, and human rights violations as key challenges. Prime Minister Narendra Modi referred to the principles of inclusion, including transparency, இருக்கிற மாதிரியே சொல்றது, being truthful, okay, human dignity, the honor one is holding, a response of grievance is the sadness, redressal will be the remedy or compensation for the grievance, the decentralization of power as key to Indian democracy. Many accused many blame big tech companies and social media of digital authoritarianism, and some spoke of devastating the very bad impact of COVID-19, climate change, and rising economic inequality as major stumbling blocks. Stumbling அப்படின்னா தடை கற்கள், ஓகேங்களா, which causes a situation which causes difficulty. Few, however, were willing to concede the shortcomings in their own democracies. Concede is to admit the shortcomings in their own democracies. However, especially the rise in hyper-nationalism, xenophobia is actually the prejudice, biased nature against people from other countries. வேறு நாட்டிலேருந்து வந்த மக்களை பார்த்தா ஒரு பார்ஷியலாக அவங்கள தாழ்த்தி நடத்துறது, இல்லாட்டி மேல்தனமாக நடத்துறது, அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு biased nature. And majoritarianism that sap is actually destroys the very essence of representational, pluralistic, and inclusive governance today. Democracy, like charity, begins at home, and rather than making international pledges at summit level conferences, elected leaders must keep their promises of freedom and equality for the people, or demos. Demos is actually a trial that make up their nations. So that is all for the day. We leave the vocabulary for today's editorial in our Telegram channel, Exam 360 COIMBATORE. So do follow that the further information. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.